Hey, what's up? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're doing all right. Hope everybody is having a great Saturday morning. I want to do something today. Today's going to be a little bit different than what I normally do because I want you guys to understand a couple things that are extremely important to me. But I've got to give a warning. If you are the person that suffers from overly emotional context, or you get into a position where you just can't handle hearing a sad story, even though there's positive things about this, then this might not be something that you want to watch. Today is about a celebration of life. There's great points, there's some extremely sad points. But I want to honor two people. Those two people are my sister and her son, Tyler. It's going to be emotional for me because I worry about my sister. I worry about where she's at. I worry about the availability of her to understand that there's always a plan for God's plan. And sometimes we have a hard time seeing those things, and seeing my sister hurts me. But you guys need to know who I am. Now, you guys know that I am fiercely a defendant. We in Stack Collector, we have the knight because I'm about protecting our community and about ensuring that the good information gets out, that you guys have good, solid, reliable information. I'm about protecting the community from disinformation or misinformation, or alerting you to potential things like frauds and scams. And a lot of that stems from the relationships that I've had over the years where we learned protection. And sometimes we deal with things in a really weird way. And my sister and I, we're about as snarky as it comes when it comes to her and I. And you'll hear us joke about certain things. You'll hear us laugh about certain things. And you may not have any clue of why we're laughing. But it's how we've learned to deal and cope with many things. So I'm going to say hi to everybody, and then I'm going to kind of get into this. Again, folks, I got mine. You might need a tissue today. Okay? I fully understand if you can't stay. When this is over, if you can stay, you're going to want to go hug your kids. You're going to want to tell those people around you how much you care about them. I'm going to be taking a lot of sips just coffee. Although by the time this is done, I may need something stronger. Folks, I love you guys. And I'm sharing this with you because you guys know me. But I want you to learn something about a person in my life who we call PETA. She is a royal pain in my butt. I love her to death. She's my sister. And we have been through some weird stuff in our life. My mom, who's in chat, hi mom, love you a bunch, did everything that she knew how to do as a parent. And, you know, sometimes as parents, we look back at things and go, I wish I would have. I wish I would have. I wish I would have. My mom taught us everything we know. And despite that, we turned out okay. This is an inside joke, folks. Again, we're very snarky. Leah, how you doing? My sister's in chat. Um, so just so you guys know, there's two chats. I do one horizontal, one vertical. So if you hear me reading from another chat, it's because there's multiple streams going on. I love you, sis. And I know if you have to go, please understand. I get that. Um, but my sister and I have, you guys, well, first off, you guys know the relationship I have with my daughter. You guys see that, you've seen that interaction. You guys have seen how we talk to each other. And you guys know that it's a very important thing. But on Wednesday, we got some extremely sad news. And I was in a live stream and we were, watching and talking with everybody. And my mom sent me a message. And she says, I need you to call me. Um, Kurt's night, just watch for a second. I'll explain. And that message was, I need you to call your sister. Tyler's been involved in a freak accident and he needs you to talk to her. And so I called my sister. My mom only tells me twice that she needs me to call. And one is confirming that everything is okay with me. And the other one is that there's something going on that I need to be aware of. My mother doesn't just arbitrarily say, you need to call me. There's something significant when she says that. And I called and I talked to my sister, and she told me that her son had slipped on some milk. I'm not going to get into all the details, folks, but just slipped on some milk, hit the back of his head, and wasn't going to live for very much longer. Now, you guys know I love my family. And I didn't know Tyler very well. I'm going to give you some details about why and what's going on with the whole situation. But I didn't know him as well as I probably should have. And so when I got this information, my first thing was, oh my God, my sister is having to deal with this, and I'm 1,000 miles away from her. What can I do to help her? And she laughed and joked with me and cried with me and told me what was going on. And because of all of this, and folks, I asked her for permission before I did all of this. Today at 4 o'clock, her son will be pronounced dead officially. But that's just the beginning of the end. And I'll explain why. Years ago, my daughter and we sat down and we were having a conversation. And my daughter has this thing for special needs kids. She likes teaching kids. She likes doing stuff with art and stuff. And she said that I want to learn about this topic. I want to learn about this information. So I connected her with my sister. Now, my sister has done this kind of work for a number of years. Yeah, Ramon, I am crying. A very emotional topic, and I'm sorry if that's upsetting, and I do apologize. See, my daughter learned about what my sister does, and my sister has a heart like no others for other people. And for about 11 years, I'm just going to go back 11 years because this is about when the story with Tyler began. She was working with this group home and was introduced to this kid. Now, we know what potentially lies inside of people, but sometimes because of the external, because of the lack of understanding, because we don't have the capability, because maybe there's a communication barrier. In this particular case, he couldn't always explain or express what was going on or why he was doing something. Special needs, autistic, that kind of, sometimes they don't have that capability to do that. And my sister connected with him in a way where he would look at my sister and then kind of calm down. She could get through to him. And that started the path of a remarkable journey. Now, this journey was fraught with a lot of issues, a lot of concerns about his safety and welfare, a lot of concerns about where he was at and what was happening and were things being taken care of the way they needed to be taken care of. Was he getting the love and the affection and the attention that he needed? Not necessarily just within the home or with whatever, just in general. Was he getting the stuff that he needed? And she felt led to really pour her love and her affection and her time and effort, really learning about Tyler and learning what his triggers were and what his emotions were and how he would react to stuff and how different people would handle and deal with him. And she took all of this stuff and kind of brought it together into one nice little package where she could go to these places and visit with him and check in on him and see how things were going and go, hey, this is what he needs. This is what's going on. Have you given him this? Has he done a part of this? And there were times where this got bad, like legal issues were engaged and involved, and my sister went to bat for this person. Why do I call him my nephew? Well, she adopted him. After all the struggles, after all the stuff, she felt so led to pour everything she had into this young man that she adopted him, coordinated his care, made sure he was getting the stuff that he needed, and really just poured everything she is as a person. Now, if you guys know me, now some of you don't, you're in here for the first time, I get it, no problem. And if you're in my channel, you'll notice that the stuff that I normally have on my screen, there's no super chats, there's no calendar for subscribers, there's no notifications turned on, nothing's going to happen, there's not going to be any alerts, there's nothing today that is anything about my channel, because it's not about my channel. What it's about is it's about relationship. It's about understanding, love, sacrifice. My sister embodied everything that I stand for. And not just because she's my sister and my mom instilled these things in us. We have walked very different paths in our time. We've had very different beginnings. We've had very different experiences through our lives. But my sister and I are one in a unique pair of people in that we cannot talk for 6 months and then pick up the phone and start the conversation like it was yesterday. We don't have to talk every day. Sometimes we talk frequently, sometimes we talk sparsely. But my sister and I, as God help her, sarcasm knows no boundaries with us. It is an amazing part of our relationship. We both have dealt with hurt and pain through humor and growing and doing stuff like this, right? These are things that we were able to grow through and adapt to. And I wanted to share a little bit about my sister and my relationship and what happened with Tyler. My sister and I, she's adopted. Not really. But it's a joke. We rib on each other all the time. And she is one of the most compassionate people I know. So much that she takes stuff on herself, mentally, physically. She will make herself sick worrying about the care or the health or the loss of somebody else. It is a great asset, but it also comes at a detriment to her. She has poured everything she is. And just like me, the one thing I always wanted to be, and my mom knows this, my sister knows this, anybody who knows me and the relationship I have with my daughter knows this. I wanted nothing more to be a dad. I love being a father. I absolutely love it. And I'll tell you that my sister wanted nothing more than to be a mom. Now, due to medical reasons, she was unable to do that. And it, for many years, it affected a marriage. It affected her mental health, and not the fact that she went mental. She was already mental. But it affected her because she really had this desire to be a mother. And I don't know that it's inherent. Ladies, you're going to have to tell me, is this a natural thing? Because I know there's a lot of guys who genuinely want to be a good dad. Now, we hear about the stories of people that just aren't. We get that. And we get the fact that not everybody gets to be a parent, and not everybody should be a parent. But my daughter and my relationship really gave me insight to my sister's laughing again. Even in her pain, she still knows humor is a positive. I love you, sis. But even in her humor, even in the relationship my daughter and I have, I learned something more about my sister's love for Tyler through every interaction I would have with my daughter. Now, I didn't know Tyler. I sent him a couple things on occasion, but it was more of my sister talking about him. Now, see, I've lived in Texas for the last 17 years, and she lives in Utah. I haven't seen my sister but twice in the last, 15 years. We talk semi-frequently. We joke, we share stuff back and forth on social media. We're very tight. We're very well connected to each other. We just haven't had the ability to really sit next to each other and just spend time one-on-one. In the near future, I'm going to change that. I'm going to have her come out and visit, and we're going to spend some time together. But I learned through my relationships what other people have experienced in theirs. Doesn't mean it's the same. But my sister with Tyler, the willingness to take on, and folks, I don't know if you've ever dealt with anybody special needs. It's not just like having a normal child. There are some very specific things that have to happen. And I don't know the story behind what happened with Tyler's parents and why he was given to the group home and why those things happened. I don't understand the details. I don't know what the family dynamic was. I don't have any of that information. And truthfully, that has no bearing on the story. It's not about what happened that got him to that point. It's what happened when he met my sister. This boy's life changed. And when I mean it changed, I saw pictures of him at the beginning where he was very stoic, solemn, quiet, almost angry. Even when he was calm, he didn't have a look of love and fulfillment and joy. He had had a hard life. Now, my sister doesn't know this. Some of you guys do, some of you don't. But when I was younger, I was quite a little poet. I loved doing poetry, and I wrote a poem for this. I'm going to read this a little bit later on. But in this poem, there's one stanza that I'm going to share with you. My sister is a woman with a heart of gold. Now, I'm not reading you this verbatim because I'm going to read you the poem here in a minute. But the compassion is something that needs to be told. Her love for people. Now, my sister is an educator and she deals with the hard to deal with special needs kids, those that need absolute and total care. And in many cases, kids that aren't going to make it. I consider myself a strong, smart, intellectual, albeit emotional man. I am firm in my understanding that emotions make a man, not break a man. I am confident in the fact that it's okay to cry because I know who I am and I know where my heart is. And I know that there are people hurting in the world. But my daughter took this boy's hand, gave him some praise, fanned his heart with hopeful flame. And he learned laughter. I'll read the whole poem here in just a minute. Yeah, my mom, I did teach him everything he knows. Yeah, and we joke about that. My mom and I have a joke. It was pertaining to golf. And she told my golf coach that he says, hey, he's a pretty good golfer. He enjoys what he does. And my mom says, I taught him everything I know. And I looked at my coach and I said, and despite that, I can still play. So this is the nature of my family. We love to laugh and joke with each other. And what's great about this is that we have a very solid love within our family. I love you, Mom, but yeah, that's I wanted to share the inside joke. Plus, I needed to laugh a little bit. But I'm going to read you this poem here in probably 20, 30 minutes or so. I want to kind of go through a couple other things. And then I'm going to read you the poem. And I wrote this for my sister. I don't know that my sister's going to be able to stay on. I know that she's got to prepare herself. So again, as stated before, on Wednesday, there was an accident where Tyler slipped, I think on some milk or something, and hit his head. And they went to do surgery. And the surgeon, no, folks, well, I don't care what religion you are, what your faith is. I don't care if you have faith or you don't. I stand by mine. And I've got to tell you that in everything that is said in this story is a little bit of touch of God's hand. Every single point. Because the surgeon happened to know the people at the home who called this in. Like there's relationship after relationship after relationship after relationship where everything that needed to happen in order for the impact that's about to happen today at 4 o'clock could happen. You guys can call it fate or you guys can say whatever it is, but I truly believe that there was a hand in this. And if there's any message I can give to my sister, it's this. We don't have to know God's plan. We shouldn't even try. But I can tell you this, the life you touched is going to have, exponential impact starting at 4 o'clock today. Lives are going to be changed. My sister made a very hard decision. Talked to the surgeons, and the surgeon said that there is an opportunity for the unfortunate accident with your son to potentially be used to save the life. Let me back up. Lives of 4 people. I'm going to read you something that my sister sent me. And she goes, I just got an update. Hey, Leah, this is from the surgeon. Here's an update for you. Tyler's heart, liver, lungs, kidneys, and pancreas all have recipients. Folks, I'm sad, but I'm happy as hell. There are people who are going to get to live because of this accident. Sometimes, I'm sorry, folks. I told you guys it's going to be emotional for me. Sometimes we wonder, why us? Why me? Why the good? Why can't it happen to somebody nasty? And it does. It does. Oh, sorry. Why does it have to be to the kind? Why does it have to be to the gentle? Why do the good things have to go to the undeserving? Today, folks, there are 4 people, 4 people, you are going to get to know life because of Tyler. The impact that you had in his life. It's going to forever change the history of many families' stories. We may never, will never know the impact that Tyler's passing is going to have. We don't know what medical advances, what social service advances, what advances in mental health or critical care or those who suffer from situations like this, who have been in abusive situations. We have no idea. Maybe this person is the next Einstein. Maybe this person invents something that saves your grandkid's life. Maybe one of these people creates a device that helps reduce diabetes in 1 million people. Who knows what the potential impact here? I stated before, we don't need to know God's plans. It sucks. And my heart hurts for you, sis. It really bleeds for your loss. But folks, I'm not crying for my sister. I'm crying because grace grace abounds. And there are going to be people who get now to know the love that Tyler felt. Why do I say that? How can I say that? I don't know these families. I don't know these people. I say that because there are people that are going to get to experience a second chance of life. A freak accident, yes. A sad moment for our family, yes. But the impact that this kid had in the families of the home that he served in, where he would get his care. I mean, the people that were there, their kids looked at him as family. They accepted and adopted them as their own. Like, this kid had so much impact. He affected the nurses, the surgeons. There were people that had dealt with him for years that saw a dramatic change. And yeah, so Mike Noodle, yeah, exactly. And I'm not telling you guys, this isn't a call for organ donation. I'm an organ donor, and I do so in the hopes that my life, something in me, can be continued on in somebody else. God knows that won't be my brain. And it won't be my sense of humor that get donated. But if through the miracle of medical advancement and technology, we can make an impact in somebody else's life, why not? Some people it can't because of their religious beliefs. And I understand and totally respect that. But the choice to do this saved to save 4 people's lives. We'll find out more. All the stuff starts at about 4 o'clock this afternoon. But I'm going to put out a call for you guys. If you're Eastern time, about 6 o'clock, I want you to do me a favor. Say a prayer for my sister. Because as her loss begins, new life will begin to well up in other people. There are no guarantees that all 4 of those people will live. There's no guarantee that all 4 of those people will pass. There's no guarantee that those 4 people will go on to do anything amazing. But the thing is that that's what's cool about God's plan. I don't need to know it. I'm in awe by it. I can't tell anybody what to feel or how to feel. Just like I can't tell anybody when it comes to numismatics what coin they should or shouldn't buy, or whether they should stack silver or gold, or one of our recent conversations calling out something that just wasn't right, needed to be corrected. I try on this channel to remain as neutral as possible. But the one thing that you guys will see with me, without doubt, is I try to show integrity, tact, respect, and a fierce protection for this community. And I do it because I see people like my sister who gave their all and continue to give their all for the betterment of people who, without people like her, may not get the love and the affection and the care that they deserve. I constantly counteract people by saying common sense is only common if everybody has it. But telling people they lack common sense, they just might not know. It's my duty as an educator to help educate people on stuff like this. But it's these lessons, these hard-fought losses, that have helped me to understand the importance of family, the importance of community, and the fact that no one should ever be and or feel alone. Folks, being kind, and you guys will see this throughout various streams within this community, hashtag kindness. And hashtag kindness has multiple connotations. Could be thank you for somebody doing something for the group, or maybe somebody donated something for a charity. We deal with wounded warriors in St. Jude quite frequently. And maybe it's hashtag kindness because somebody, we have many of you in chat who donate some amazing things for the betterment of other people. Wounded warriors, I am a disabled vet, served in the United States Navy, and I stand strong with the brothers and sisters who serve our great nation or have served our great nation in defense of our country. For the first responders, the people who put their lives on the line to protect or rescue us. They sacrifice time away from their families to ensure that the general public is taken care of. I look at people in this hobby. We range, folks, from stackers to collectors to people that love gemstones to people who love art, for people who are scavengers and salvagers and resellers. We have people who are skilled in various different aspects of law. Azure Blue, what's up, brother? Glad you're here. Medical, Tiger Stacker, good to see you, my brother. Firefighters, oh my God, we've got so many of them in the community. I don't even want to say the names because the fear of leaving somebody out. We have so many people in this community who selflessly give, put themselves in harm's way because there's something more than them. This relationship where my daughter asked me to connect with my sister so that she could learn more about this. The love I have for my daughter and the relationship that my daughter now has with my sister is amazing. The compassion continues, it grows. And again, I look up and music, I get it, okay? I don't want to bring this in here, okay? I appreciate it. But we're not going to get into a debate. This is not what this is for. Okay. And so I want you all to understand that normally I allow very clear free speech. But I'm asking you not to be an asshat. Not today. If you don't like it, then I just ask you to leave. Don't make me kick you out. Just leave. Have a good day. Sorry, folks. Somebody being a little bit of a turd. I had to just remove him for a moment. We don't have to think the same way. We don't have to believe the same thing. We don't have to look at the good and the bad in everything and immediately develop an opinion. We don't have to make snap decisions about our justification of being right or wrong. We do this because we're human. It just happens. But what I wanted to do today was to come alongside my sister to share with the community, because many of you were there when the news came across, and I said, I've got to go. My nephew's going to pass. Many of you were aware that there was some stuff going on. And in fact, I didn't stream on Thursday because I didn't, my mind wasn't in it. I couldn't do it. Tiger Stacker and I just said, hey, we're not going to do this. We're going to push it back a day. I needed a day to reflect and get myself together and really make sure that I was in the right state of mind to help my sister through what she's going through. And my sister's going to get some closure today. But what I wanted to share was that we make decisions, and whatever that decision is, whatever you determine is good for you, whether it be to be an organ donor or not to be an organ donor. This isn't a call for organ donation, but if you want to do it, then do it. It's not a call to donate money. I'm not asking you to send anything to me or my sister. I'm asking you for prayer for my sister in this time. Not that there will be this miraculous healing and that she will feel happy and all joyous on Sunday, but that she will be able to take that love and pour it continuously into others. My sister's an educator. She starts school on Monday. It's going to be a very rough time for her. I call for prayer. Those of you that are prayer warriors or have prayer warriors in your family, I call for this. And you guys, you know where I stand in my faith, but I don't push my faith on anybody. I want you guys to see that through my words and my actions. Yeah, sometimes I get a little bit whatever. I'm human. It's what I do. But I just want you guys to understand that I am proud of my sister. I am proud of the impact that she was able to have in the life of Tyler. And even though Tyler is going to pass away from us today, there is an opportunity for him to save the lives of 4 people. I know a lot of people are talking, there's chats going on. I'm not paying attention very much to chat, trying to watch a couple things just to make sure things are cool and clear in here. But I do want to read a poem that I wrote. I wrote, not AI, I wrote it. My mom, my sister will hear my words in this. They will know that this is me. But I wrote this because I wanted to find a way to sum up what I think about my sister, what I think about the situation, and how I view this entire case. I won't make it through this whole thing in one reading. It's going to take me a second, okay? And after this, I'm going to end the stream. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be talking about coins. In fact, we've got a good friend that's going to be coming up talking about ending Liberty Quarters. If you're interested in it. Leah, I love you, sis. A fragile soul, compassionate eyes. Hold on. Ah, come on. Let's get this to it. Let's do this. Ah, sorry. Ah, a fragile soul with compassionate eyes saw scorn and hardship, a world unkind, his gentle mind a winding way, only shadow in light of day. They mocked his stumbles, laughed at his still voice, a lonely boy without hopeful choice. Until a woman with heart of gold, a storied compassion to be told, saw his spirit, not the earthly shell, and broke the curse, the binding spell. He took his hand and praised his name, and fanned his heart with hopeful flame. He learned of laughter and of graceful touch, to love in a world that once asked too much. His life was blooming, a garden in a sun, the race of joy before the time was run. But fate, cruel, unexpected, the sudden flash in a moment's plight, stole his laughter, stole his light. The doctors whispered, "Oh, Grace, fading hope, healed in safe place." And yet his love will not fade away, because a gift of self faces brighter day. Or waiting souls, their dim candles low, receive a part of him who inner lights glow. A heart beat on one steady drum, with kidneys now two, a new world to come. With breath of life and fragile lung, three then saved, a story sung. It's gone from sight, kindness lives anew. This boy of grace gave his liver too. His strength to others, a legacy grant. The love he held now touches the land. May our hopes rest where gentle mercies flow. We and lift to God gifts we scarcely know. For in every loss, let grace rise above, be sustained by mercy, and enveloped in love. I love you guys. I appreciate the support. I want to ask that you share only for the purposes of prayer for my sister, especially at 4 o'clock Mountain today, where Tyler's life will be passed on to others. I appreciate and thank you each for coming in, for taking time to understand a little bit about the love my family has for one another, but to know something about a woman that I respect so deeply. I love you, sis. And I'm sorry for your loss. It crushes my soul. But just remember, his life gives life new. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? You know it has to be a gift. Love you guys.